Welcome to the Uncle's channel. Thanks for watching today. An Elden Ring DLC is coming out on Friday, Shadow of the Erdtree, and I could not be more excited about it. And so today we're just going to do what I'm going to call a Elden Ring ramble, because it's not going to be like a highly edited video. We're just going to sort of talk about sort of the hype behind the DLC, my hopes for the DLC, look at some reviews for the DLC, and just sort of I don't know, like I said, keep the hype train going for this upcoming DLC. Now, I know I've said like DLC like 20 times in a row here, and like some people are even saying like it's not even like hardly a DLC because it's like almost more of a full game here, because like 40 to 50 hours worth of gameplay within it. Some people are spending like over 100 hours already as far as like some of the earlier reviews and whatnot, and there's like 40 to 50 bosses inside the game to fight. And I think there were around 200 in the original Elden Ring if you took like all the little optional ones and all the little, little cave boss and catacombs and all of that. So 40 to 50 bosses, more than satisfied for that. I obviously will do a tutorial video for every single boss inside the game, and I could not be more excited to dive into it and create those tutorial videos. I may actually end up going through the entire game again if this is going to be the final patch for the base game, which I got a feeling it might be for the base game anyway, and actually do like an entire another review, or not review, entire another walkthrough or guide for every boss in the game, just sort of keep it more up to date with the times. That's up for debate on exactly when I'm going to do that, but I'm going to try to wait to the last patch, and we'll see if this is going to be the last patch for the base game. I'm sure it's not the last patch for the DLC. I'm sure the DLC will have plenty of patches, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of the reviews that have come in here. Pretty much everybody's given it a 10 out of 10, a 100% across the board. Fantastic score. The overall Metacritic score at the moment, I'm looking at it here, says it's a 95, which is pretty darn good. No one's given it a mixed review. No one's given it a negative review, which is to be expected. The lowest review is from a magazine called Push Square. And I know their content a little bit, but they gave the DLC an 80% here, or an 8 out of 10. It says, by doubling down on what made the base game so sublime, From Software has crafted an Elden Ring expansion that's just as great as it is familiar. Shadow of the Erdtree delivers more of the same style of content that you loved 2 years ago, rather than introducing new ways to engage, which is exactly what I was expecting here. That's enough to consider it a fantastic expansion, though it's not hard to feel like you're just going through the same motions again. Now, I disagree with that. Like, sometimes you want to go through the same motions again. With a new land to explore, a fresh set of bosses to fight, and extra lore to consume, it's so much more Elden Ring. And so that's even still a good review. An 80 is not a bad review, but considering everyone else is giving it like a perfect score, Push Square is obviously trying to buck the system just a little bit by giving it an 80. But I have to say, like, I'm most excited when I'm going to play through this game. Obviously, I'm looking forward like to bosses like Mesmer, whoever else the bosses are going to be inside the game. I know we have like that dancing lion at one point. They did decide that one that looked like Godwin is not a boss. It's just simply a normal creature or monster inside the game, as well as like the incinerator fire giants or whatnot. I know they're not fire giants, but they have the same little symbol on them, and they're, the incinerator wicker man, I guess would be the right word for it. They're not bosses either, or at least main bosses, maybe like a field boss and such as that. I've not like watched a ton of gameplay. I did watch Vadi's video on when he did the original playtest, and he did like a 30-minute video on what his experience was for his 3 hours. I did watch that, but I've avoided any other gameplay outside of that. And I know like there was actually like a DLC leak that came out, I don't know, maybe like a couple days ago, and I've done my absolute best to avoid the DLC leak, because they evidently told like who all the final bosses were in the game, all like the major lore implications such as that. I don't want to know that until I've actually played the game myself. I simply wanted to watch Vadi's video, because that's going to give me an idea of like sort of the overall landscape and sort of the, I don't know, the early steps of the lore. I didn't mind that as like a small little preview, but I don't want everything spoiled for me. I am extraordinarily excited for the lore in the game. I really want to know what's going on with Miquella. Is he ultimately a good guy? Is he ultimately a bad guy? I don't know. I have a feeling he's going to be a twist at the end. He's going to end up being a bad guy in the game, but we'll see. I mean, that would fit in with most of the other I don't know, type of From Software, I guess, storytelling, make you feel like he's a good guy, lead you on and do a nice little twist at the end. And I mean, almost everybody in these games has a tragic storyline anyway, so I wouldn't be one bit surprised if Miquella here turns out being a bad guy, especially since they say like things like nothing's more horrifying than some of his powers. They've got a lot of mixed language in some of the ways they've described Miquella here. But I'm very excited to see what they do with Miquella. I really want to know the full story behind Mesmer, and I really want to know like the exact how way America became a goddess here, or ascended into godhood in this land of shadow. And so there are tons of like unanswered questions I'm really hoping the lore is going to clear up here. And I have to say, I am more invested in the lore going into the DLC than I was invested in the lore when I played through Elden Ring the first time. And that's because like when you first load the game up here, you don't know the full story, you don't know the overarching story. And now it's like when I'm playing the DLC, I already know the overarching story, I know all the overarching characters. I'm just like filling in the blanks as I go to make the DLC or make the overall story or the lore make the most sense. And so I am very invested in the lore here to see how all of this comes together. And I'm really curious if Rykard is going to have any connection to Mesmer. I watched a video the other night about Rykard, about when he, became the serpent or became Rykard the Blasphemous and all of that. And I'm just really interested to see how much of that is going to end up playing into Mesmer as well, if there's any connection between the two of them, because there does seem to be some connection just simply beyond the snake imagery here. And so I really am excited for the lore in the game. Combat-wise, I probably will end up sticking pretty similar to my normal combat build for the game. I may try out some of the new fighting styles, some of the hand-to-hand stuff. I know there's like a brand new poison merchant inside the game, and I'm interested to see what they do with poison. If you watch my cheese and tutorial videos, I love my poison and things like that. And so I'm interested in that, maybe some new dragon communions as well. I'll probably experiment with that, but for the most part, I'll play my base build as I'm going through the DLC, unless something like crazy like really captures my attention here. But I am really excited to bring back my my old character and wipe the dust off the the old hat here. I always had the gunslinger's hat for my main player. But I'm excited to get him going again. I actually did load the game up, I'm not going to lie, for maybe like 30 minutes the other night, just sort of get the controls down again a little bit, because I've not played it in a good bit here, just simply because I've been trying to go through like the Game Boy videos. I've been trying to do tutorials on like some of the other Souls videos for a while. So I'm really excited to hop back into Elden Ring. And I've also been trying to figure out like who is going to be the final boss for the Elden Ring DLC. I really don't think it's going to be Mesmer, because Mesmer has he's pretty much like been spoiled almost to a degree as far as like some of the gameplay mechanics, some of the lore already. And so they're going to want to have a big surprise or big reveal at the end. So I think Mesmer is probably going to be like the penultimate boss for the overall game here. But I really don't know who the final boss is going to be. It could be Mikola. I mean, I would obviously make a lot of sense. He sort of get the full lore. I felt he's actually like the ultimate evil demigod here. That's possible. It also could have something to do with Godwin, since he was assassinated or murdered in the base game, possibly in the Land of Shadow. He has a secondary life that comes to fruition here, and so could be Godwin. I'm thinking that's a possibility, or it could be like one of the Outer Gods. That's also a high possibility here, because there is all the lore of the Outer Gods. It's just simply not even mentioned. Or take back, it is mentioned in the game itself, but it's not like a core part of the story. It's all through like reading the description and the items and such as that, and watching lore videos. And so I am interested to see if they're going to bring more of the Outer Gods in, because that's what they did with Bloodborne. They did more of the Outer Gods as far as like the end of the game with the Moon Presence or the Orphan of Kos. So there is some Outer God stuff in some of the other From Software games, especially for like final boss territory. And I think they might end up doing that with the Elden Ring DLC here. Now, I did go ahead and pre-order the game, and so I am going to get the little exclusive gesture or whatnot, which I will probably never use in the actual game, but I still the one to have it, just simply, because, it's there. I'm going to get the game anyway. Why not get the pre-order gesture? I think you can actually get the gesture if you just play the game regularly. But why not go and get the gesture straight off the bat, since I'm going to get the game anyway. I did pre-order that. I did pre-order the Mesmer helmet, so I am going to be getting that in the mail soon. I'll do an unboxing of that when it comes in. And so there's just so much to be excited about for Shadow of the Erdtree. And I know it's coming on Thursday night, starting at 11 o'clock. That's when it's released, at least for my PlayStation. I checked the countdown clock on the system itself, and that's when it's coming out. And I have to say, I'll be loading the game up at 11 o'clock, and I'll probably put around 4 to 5 hours in that night, and then I'll continue it on the next day when I wake up. I'm on break from my main job right now, so I have plenty of time to invest in the actual DLC here. And so I'm probably going to blast through it originally, or off the start, try to get all the bosses wiped out, get my tutorial videos loaded up, then journey through it a second time and sort of really explore some of the lore here, try to figure out as much as I can about the lore implications for the game. And I'm not a lore channel or anything like that. Every now and then I'll put a lore video up, and I may make a couple of lore videos or speculation about it. I'm not going to become a lore channel, but I will probably make at least 1 or 2 videos about a few little speculations that I find here or there. But I don't know. Are you excited for the Shadow of the Erdtree? Have you got it pre-ordered? Are you going to play it the day it comes out, the moment it comes out? or are you just sort of more of a casual Elden Ring fan who's going to wait on it and sort of get it when it rolls around? Let me know in the comments down below. But I have to say, like, I just want to make a quick little video explaining my excitement for it, because this is a game I have been looking forward to, I don't know, pretty much since I finished up Elden Ring. I knew there'd be a DLC, I knew it was coming out, and I've been looking forward to this particular DLC for a very long time. And so easily my most hyped game for the year, probably my most hyped game for the next couple of years until I hear about another From Software game. But as always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out other videos listed up above, and go out there, find a great game to play. Simply have a great rest of the day.